Meeting called to order. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Chapman.
Here.
Councilmember Clayton.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here.
Please stand for a silent prayer, a moment of reflection. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 22nd, 2024, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We have a presentation by Five Prop Holdings LLC, Asbury Partners, for the redevelopment of Block 4306, lots 1 through 8, 200 210 8th Avenue, 201 209 7th Avenue, and 1604 Webb for construction of townhouses.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name is Jennifer Phillip Smith. I'm an attorney with Gibbons PC, and I am here tonight on behalf of Asbury Partners, as well as its affiliate, AP5 Prop Holding LLC. Asbury Partners, which is the master developer, along with its affiliate, are the owners of the property located at Block 4306, lots 1 through 8, which in a moment we'll describe where that is within the city. We are under contract to sell this property to an affiliate of K.Avnanian Homes. And we are here seeking your approval this evening to go ahead to go to the planning board and eventually to approve a subsequent developer agreement as well for the construction of 45 townhome units. We were in front of the TRC in the fall, and as you'll see in the presentation this evening, the TRC had comments about the architectural elevations, the design of the exterior of the building. And we have worked hard over the last few months to refine those plans, to take into account the planning professionals' comments, the TRC's comments, to come up with a design that we think meets the objectives that we were provided. So to get us started, we're going to have Frank Minervini, who is our project architect, go through the project location and the overall design of the project. We then also have Brian Leff here this evening to talk about the landscaping. Bob Curley, our site engineer, is here as well. I'm not planning on having him come up unless there's specific questions about the engineering that Frank and Brian Leff don't cover in their presentations. All right, and with that, Frank, if you could walk us through the site location and what is proposed.
Sure. The first image we're looking at, pardon me, is an image that I based off of a Google Maps. And you can see here the site in yellow. It is bounded on the north by 8th Avenue, on the west by Webb Street, on the east by Kingsley, and on the south by 7th Avenue. The lot area is 1.83 acres. So that tells you where the property is. And basically it's in the northeastern part of the city. And here on the top part of the image is Deal Lake. So that'll give us the location of the property. I'll move to some drawings. Just as a general overview of the project, and Jen had mentioned some of this, but we're proposing 45 residential units. Each one of these boxes represents a unit in 6 building clusters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for orientation, this is Kingsley, this is 7th, this is 8th, and this is Webb. So east is over here on the right part of the image. Some important things I think the council should know is that we made many revisions based on TRC and planning staff comments. One of the important factors, one important items that we think in terms of the design is that all the parking is accessed internally. So this is our site plan. You'll notice that the entrance and exit vehicular is off of Webb Street. All the parking for these townhomes would be, in essence, at the back of the townhomes. So the main entries to the townhomes on 5 of the 6 clusters is along street frontage. So these townhomes, they're all the entries, and I've got 3D images to show you more detail, but all the entries here are off of 8th Avenue. All the entries for these units, townhome units, are along Kingsley, and the same applies for this section along 7th Avenue. With the exception of the 5 units that are in the center of the property. So these, obviously, because they're not on, there's no street frontage, will be entered from this access road. In terms of the units themselves, we've got 4-story clusters and 3-story clusters, and I'll zoom in a bit so it's easier for everyone to see. Let's just move this over a bit. Okay. So for reference, I'm using the same site plan, of course. These are all 4-story townhomes. These are 4-story townhomes. These are 4-story townhomes. These are 4. These are as well. The only sections that are 3 is this one along Webb Street. The widths average, or they range between 16 feet and 20 feet. The average unit sizes are between, I think the number was 1,600 approximately, and 1,650 and 2,460. So there's a range of unit sizes too within these townhomes. They're not all just these giant townhomes that we often see and are kind of monochromatic in terms of the actual layouts. So we've got a variety of sizes within these units. The end units are slightly bigger, but in general, what we're looking at here is a townhome design in terms of a site plan that has taken advantage of the 4 streets. The vast majority of the entrances to these units are off the streets, which is of course something that this council as well as planning staff and TRC would like. It's good planning. We have brought all the parking to be accessed from within the site, but all the parking is accessed internally, which limits, of course, the amount of curb cuts that we would need. So in terms of a site plan, I think this is a very, very good solution. Some revisions that were made based on CRC comments and recommendations, as well as planning staff comments and recommendations. And I'll get into them some of them a bit more because it has to do with colors and materials. But in terms of the site plan, one revision that was made, and we think it's a very good one, is that this cluster of homes, these 5 homes, were initially, the main entry was off of this internal road. The suggestion was made that we flip it so that now the entries are facing east, which is also happens to be where we have this wide pedestrian entry to the site as well. So I should mention, as part of the site plan, of course, this is Kingsley, Ocean Avenue is further east. We have a main pedestrian entry, a connection to Kingsley Street right here. So the comment was and suggestion was that we flip the design here. So now the entries are along this section, and you have a better view of this small view corridor to these. So that was, I think, a very good suggestion that we have implemented. I'll move along, understanding time is limited. This is the second sheet, or third sheet, but the second sheet of drawings that we've got for tonight's presentation. And what we're looking at here is our original submission. And there's a reason why we're showing you these, because we think that the evolution of the design has come so far that you'll see these relative to the new ones, and I think hopefully you'll be very happy. But initially we had colors that were probably a bit more contemporary in nature, and perhaps could have been softened, and that was some of the suggestions, so we did do that. And there were other suggestions that the TRC had. For example, the comment, well, one of the comments was that we should try architecturally to make the end units a bit more prominent in terms of verticality and act as a good bookend to these townhomes. So this was our original idea on how to accomplish that. We have since evolved to the next image. So here, it's the same perspective, but you'll see that the color palette has changed. So we've used, and I know you've heard the term many times, coastal colors, but the colors here in terms of inspiration are colors inspired by the sea, inspired by the beach, inspired by the sky. I've got the actual names of all the colors we're choosing, but you'll see the difference. It looks less harsh, we think. It looks softer, and we think that it makes much more sense given our proximity to the actual Atlantic Ocean. There was also a suggestion that we simplify materials, and we've done that. But in terms of materials, we're proposing the vast majority of the facades to be covered in fiber cement boards, which are meant in this case to look like wood, but much more, they can handle the weather that the coast brings much better than wood would. And in terms of the specific designs, we've got horizontal lap siding. These are all combinations to kind of make a particular aesthetic. We've got vertical board and battens, the horizontal siding, as well as some areas of actual wood shakes that are meant to look like wood shakes. So we think the materials make sense given our location, given the history of Asbury Park, and how we accomplished, we think, the end units being more prominent is we have brought up a section of the floor plate, 5 stories, small section which allows access for these 2 decks. Those decks are now covered by pergolas. So you'll see that the corners here are accented by pergolas. It's a nice, we think, soft way of having the termination of the building at the corners, and always during the daytime allows for very interesting shadows. So we think that was successful. This view is along Kingsley, but you'll see these are all the entries to the building cluster along Kingsley. You'll notice that they're raised up high, but we're required to do that given our location and proximity to the, within the flood zone. So we're required to lift all these floors up. We've done that, but yet still have separate entries all along Kingsley. So we think that was successful. Other changes, well, I'll go through the other drawings, you'll see. Well, we talked about the colors, we changed that, I described that. There were small changes that they wanted. We extended a foundation section here just to allow for more screening of the cars behind it. But I think this image specifically tells the story of what we're proposing. I've got many others. We can go through them quickly. This is that same perspective, how we think it'll look at nighttime. Brian, the landscape architect, will talk about all the proposals in terms of landscaping. Another view, this is along Kingsley, looking west. You can see the same idea. We've got the pergolas at the corners, which we think kind of accent those edges. Same perspective, evening. Straight on view along Kingsley, highlighting the entries to each of the townhomes. You'll see that each one has its own stair entry with landscaping surrounds. And the same perspective at nighttime. Theme continues along 8th Avenue. And finally, that 8th Avenue view in the evening. Some more information that I should be talking about, let you know. We're required to have 67.5 parking spaces. We're proposing 114. So I think that is a good thing. In terms of the heights that I had talked about, there's a combination of 4-story and 3 stories. Those 4-story structures are 46 feet in height. The 3-story structures are 38 feet in height. And let me confirm that I've gotten all the revisions to let you know about. So it's materials. Yeah, so I think that's really it in terms of what we wanted to show tonight and the evolution of the project. We think that we've captured all the comments and suggestions that both TRC and planning staff had with this revised, evolved design. And I'm happy to answer any particular questions.
So if there,
Yeah, I'm
go
sorry, I
ahead,
have a couple questions. I probably lost a piece of paper I wrote them on. How many street parking spots because of curb cuts will the city lose?
I'll defer that to Bob, our civil engineer.
I can have Bob come up.
Yeah, he can answer that for sure.
Oh,
Pardon me, Mayor, the answer is 3.
3, okay. And these made for B, Bob, also, so if they are, no problem. So you got 3 stories and 4 stories. Are all the 3s the same and all the 4s the same? And if so, what are the square footage of them?
Yes, in each case, the 3-story buildings are on the ends 20 feet wide. The internal ones are 16 feet wide. That applies as well to the 4-story. So the widest of the buildings, which are the end structures, are 20 feet wide and 16 feet for everything else that's internal. In terms of areas, they range from the 3-story buildings that are narrow, so those would be the smallest at 1,650 square feet, and the largest being the 4-story, which are at the wider dimension at 20 feet of 2,460 square feet. So there's a range between 1,650 and 2,460.
I think that's all the questions for you. I think there's 2 other ones and they're not major. Probably for Bob, unless you want me to ask him now.
If you want to ask them now, then I can have Bob come up.
Okay, so say this goes forward and goes to the planning board. What's the projected time frame for this to be started and finished?
I'm looking at the applicant.
And what's the
I
other
would
question,
say-
Mayor? Because I'll call him up to answer
Yeah.
both.
Do I?
And what's the other question? Because I will call someone up to answer both.
This is, we'll come up with the planning board. Staging all on site, and as far as a trailer or something, sales trailer on site or someplace else.
If you give me one moment. So the build cycle should be about 2 years, and the sales trailer is intended to be on site here.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Can I ask about sustainability and green measures that you would be making part of this
Yeah.
development project?
So what we generally do in projects like this, we'll have LED lighting. There are low VOC paints. I don't think there's a green roof yet proposed as part of this. Most of the roofs here really don't. You cannot get a green roof on. There's water detention. So I think that's obviously a big one.
On-site.
And most of the code requirements these days take us to such a level that these buildings are very efficient.
So we can't ask for LEED certification, but we'd like to get as close to that as possible.
Understood, and I recognize that most city councils and planning and zoning boards don't want actual LEED certification because that happens post C of O. But we can provide a checklist from LEED and showing you all the points that we will hit.
Thank you.
Great.
So how many bedrooms are there going to be?
Some of the units are 3 bedrooms and some are 4. Again, depending on the sizes I described before.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Brian Leff to just talk a little bit about landscaping, if there are no more questions for Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I may sit here to help run the computer.
I can stand.
Okay, then I'll get your image. There you go.
So this is a color rendered version of our landscape plan. As you can see, we're providing plantings in front and behind all of the units. All of the plants that are chosen are known to be salt tolerant and will grow in this area. I've included some images of the standard plants that everyone's familiar with. Most are native. There are some introduced species such as knockout roses, hydrangeas, and hostas that aren't necessarily native, but they are traditional shore plants. And they're certainly what people expect to see when they come down to the shore. And let's face it, there's only a handful of plants that grow in the area, so anything we can put in that actually a little color and a little pop, that'll live, is a good thing. We did make some changes from the initial plan. The big one we've already spoken about was spinning that center building by 90 degrees. What that did is it allowed the front of that building, as you're walking down Kingsley Street and you look down the view corridor where we have the walkway, you'll be looking at the front of the building and not the garages for those buildings. We've also included a walkway and a little bit nicer entrance right where the crosswalk would come across the driveway and hit that center unit. So there were enhancements in that area. And based on the initial planting scheme, we made one big change. We originally had a lot of variety that was specified as a ground cover, just a very low grass-like ground cover. The suggestion was made to swap that out for various sedges that are native and would serve the same purpose and have a similar look. So we did make that change. And as I was looking at it, the areas that were between the driveways seemed a little bland to me. They were all the same. So I introduced a little bit more variety into the planting strip between the driveways, again, just for a visual appeal. But that's the summary of the landscape. There are trees all around, both on the sidewalk, which would be part of the overall development plan and not part of this project. That's why the street trees are screened out on this. That's where they show up as part of the redevelopment plan. But all the streetscape improvements would be part of the master development. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
No, I have none.
Thank you, Mr. L.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So following this, we will be presenting a subsequent developer agreement to your attorneys for review in the same form as usual, which would then come back to the council for review and hopefully approval. And assuming we get to that hurdle, then we still go to the planning board, where there'll be another opportunity for a public hearing. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, good night.
Good luck.
And I will say we've been asked to stay during the public comment portion, which we will do.
Do what?
We will be here during the public
Yeah,
comment
because
portion.
you know how we do it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're now on to matters from City Council. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes, I have something to say. First of all, good evening to everyone. And I know that I'm speaking not only for myself, but I believe also for Deputy Mayor and council members. We are just, and our new city manager, and our attorney. We are absolutely delighted to have our mayor back with us. We have missed you. You look fabulous. Yeah, I've missed you. We've all missed you. And so just welcome back.
Well, thank you, and I'm sure 2 weeks from now, you're going to say, what the hell are you doing back?
Probably so, but right now we love you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Councilmember Chapman.
So I just wanted to let everyone know that Councilwoman Clayton and I will be hosting Coffee with a Council Person tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Cameo Love Market. If anyone would like to come out and share any thoughts or concerns or ideas, come on out. We're buying coffee, so we hope to see you there.
Thank you. Councilmember
Nothing,
Clayton.
just please come out and spend the morning with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yeah, we have a event going on this weekend at the Berkeley Made or Sold in Asbury Park, which are products that have been made or are being sold in Asbury Park. A surprising number of products are made in Asbury Park. It's a free event. There'll be tables for you to look at products, buy products, and talk to folks. So that is at the Berkeley and Sonia's 12 to 5 Saturday. 12 to 5 Saturday, so we'll see you there.
Thank you. Mayor Moore.
Nothing, thank you.
Matters from the city manager.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Matters from the city attorney.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. We're now on to public participation. I have a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor? All right. Public participation portion is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone. State your name and address for the record, and there will be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Again, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Gregory Vichy. I am a resident at 300 Emery Street. I'm on the 3rd floor. We live 2 floors above the Asbury Ale House. We've been having trouble sleeping, and we've been calling the police department, making complaints. I'm not sure if the ale house is being fined for these complaints or not. I don't have any way of knowing, but I know that the complaints about the noise ordinance seem to be falling upon deaf ears. So I'm here to speak about that. See if there's any way that that can be helped.
Is that it?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you. Continue to call the police, call the shift commander. If you get no results, let the city manager know as soon as possible. When we get these complaints, we do take them seriously. And restrictions have been placed on various bars because they've been not being nice neighbors. So
Yeah, we have shaking floors, things falling off walls for different people in the building. It's a serious concern. So I wanted to start that tonight.
And there's power in numbers. So I'm sure like you're calling, but if you can get your neighbors to call and everything else,
We'll have more.
the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And like, we can't do anything until we get those complaints. And then there's a liquor committee made up of 2 council persons, which like they sit down with the police department, they go over the complaints. And then, they suggest when their licenses are up in June, that restrictions be placed on these establishments. So again, the only thing we can do is like get the complaints and then move on them. So if we don't get the complaints, we're like kind of like useless to you. So anything you can do to help us get your neighbors to complain
We'll track them.
helps you immensely.
We'll track the complaints. Thank you.
Okay, I
Just so
thank
you
you, and
know.
hopefully it gets better.
Deputy Mayor Coyne and I meet with the police every month to talk about liquor license establishments and issues. And we need to see the number of calls that come in order to have those conversations with the owners.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike Szorek, 305 8th Avenue. Apologies if I missed this, came late, but I saw in the agenda packet with regards to the Delta Townhouse development that there's a pilot proposed. Just trying to get more information on what that is, what's the approval process, why it's being proposed.
What's your question? Will a pilot be given?
Yes.
Yes. The waterfront development going back to 2002 says any development for sale in the waterfront redevelopment plan automatically gets a pilot. Now, as far as what the numbers are, it's way too early to say because we have to look at their pro forma and everything else, and it's based on that. And then if they say, hey, these units are going to sell for $500,000, then they sell for $800,000 or $900,000, we automatically adjust the rate up. So, as much as we get like a good estimate, if they sell it for more, the city gets more money. But they, by law, have to get a pilot.
Got it. So the city has no leeway or say in that.
In the waterfront redevelopment zone, none whatsoever.
Yep.
For any project that's for sale.
Got it. And there's no affordable housing requirement or anything, right?
No, but the original agreement had a stipulation there when they hit certain levels. I'm going to be close on this, but don't quote me, but we can get you the information. The first year they paid the city $1 million. When they hit 300 units, they had to pay the city $1 million. When they hit 600 units, they had to pay the city $1 million. With the project at Block 4001, the 200 and some units there, that's 900 units, and they paid the city another $1 million. Now that money, not always in the past, is going to affordable housing, but we've always put it to affordable housing. So that's what they had to do with affordable housing.
Got it. Thanks. Just one more follow-up. Specific design questions, probably best answer to the planning board meeting. Is that correct?
Well, you can ask it tonight because they stay to answer any questions, so they're here. So if you have it, and you can also, yes, the planning boards will be, where.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just real quick. I mean, I noticed some of the steps to the units drop kind of right onto the sidewalk. I just want to make sure that, setback requirements and those type of things are being complied with.
Good enough. Do you want to answer that now?
Sure. We do comply with setback requirements, and yes, our stairs in some cases do go to the front sidewalk, but we do the requirements.
Okay. I'll follow up with my other questions at the planning board.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Polly Shilga, 1100 Fifth Avenue. Speaking on behalf of Asbury Park and Police Streets Coalition and myself. and wondering regarding the city's resolution, the Complete Streets resolution that we have, and a Complete Streets checklist. This kind of piggybacks on what Mike was asking about frontages, about setbacks. Are you aware of the Complete Streets checklist, and that I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that the checklist does require that new construction allows for a certain amount of pedestrian walkway, that not just setback, but walkway space, as well as possible bump outs and crosswalks and any other treatments on the street that would enhance walking and bicycling and make it safer?
Sorry, when I answer, I'll have my back to you, but that's just the setup here, so I apologize. In the waterfront redevelopment area, there is an ordinance called the Infrastructure Component Report that was adopted by ordinance that has very detailed specifications about all of the streets and their layout and how they're required to be built. And as part of this project, the streets around this block will be built out in accordance with the engineering design that's in the Infrastructure Component Report adopted by ordinance. And that does specify the walkways, the paver bands, the curbing, the street trees, everything that goes into the streetscape design. But that ordinance was adopted, I guess, last amended in 2018 or 19.
Are you familiar with the checklist? The Complete Streets resolution and the checklist? Would just be a good, maybe take a look at it.
So what happens is we are actually bound by both contract and ordinance to comply with what's in the adopted ordinance. We have been having discussions about potential amendments to that, but whatever the ordinance is at the time that the construction starts is what we will be obligated to comply with.
All right. All right, thanks.
Thank you. Seeing nobody else, a motion to close?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation portion is now closed. We're now on to the minutes. I have the executive meeting minutes and reorganizational meeting minutes of January 22nd, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
What's this, the minutes?
The minutes.
Abstain.
Thank you. We're now on to consent agenda resolutions. All matters listed on consent agenda are presented collectively to the City Council and will be considered for approval with one vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature, and there will be no individual discussion of these items. If discussion is desired by one or more council members as to any particular item, then said item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. On consent agenda, we have resolutions 2024-78 through 2024-83. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Hold on 1 second. Yes.
We're now on to individual resolutions. I have resolution 2024-84, resolution approving payment of bills. Mayor Moore will vote no on PO number 24-00091. Do I have a motion on a resolution approving payment of bills?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-85, a resolution authorizing the purchase of software needed for recreation and PAL.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-86, resolution authorizing snowplow repairs needed.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-87, resolution authorizing payment to Holiday Designs for the installation of holiday lighting and display through Community Development Block Grant CDBG funding.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-88, resolution authorizing the annual renewal of all traffic solution software.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-89, a resolution authorizing an annual service agreement for mobile data service coverage.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez
Yes.
Anderson. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-90, resolution authorizing the annual renewal of Adobe.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-91, a resolution authorizing a professional services contract for state police accreditation maintenance.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Mayor Moore.
No.
Resolution 2024-92, a resolution authorizing a professional services contract to Hackensack Meridian Team Health PC for employment exams and physicals.
Question?
But we
Yeah,
need
move
moved
first.
in second.
Move it.
Second. Question.
Question.
Quinn.
When we talked about that, Lily, remember there was a, did we, I forgot to follow up on it.
I did follow up with HR and I think that what we need to do is go through with this and then we, at the end of the year, we will talk about it, what we need to do.
Okay,
I also had conversations with Mayor Moore about it.
okay.
So these have to do with the physicals.
There's discrepancies on different departments having different
Right.
amounts of money for different physicals.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so I have a follow-up question, and I have no problem with the amount of money being charged for police and fire for physicals, because I think it's well needed. My problem was the physical for a crossing guard is more than a physical for a guy at DPW who's emptying garbage.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense, because, you know, the guy with the bad back is going to get a $200 physical and going to sue us because he always had a bad back. So truthfully, I can't wait a year to change this. If you want to separate that one, or if you want to table this and get us new numbers for the next meeting, I'm open to either one. But I mean, it just makes no sense to me that a crossing guard and physical costs $350, but somebody's going to lift 50 to 60 pounds constantly all day long. The physical is $200. So basically, it's, and again, I'm the one always trying to save money. Here I'm just saying it's money well spent to give a good physical to make sure people are not hurt before they come to the city and then sue us for a pre-existing injury.
Understood.
All right, you want to do a motion to table?
Yes.
Is that best for you?
Yes, please. That would be good, so I can look into it.
Right, and we could straighten this out and have this back on the next agenda.
We're going to table it.
That's no
All
problem.
right.
Okay, so make a motion to table. I'll make a motion.
If that's your intention, we need a motion and a second to table.
I'll make a motion to table.
I second.
Thank you.
And I have no problem having this back on
Just
the next
gonna do
agenda
a-
with new numbers.
Roll call vote on to table. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-92 has been tabled to the February 14th meeting. Resolution 2024-93, resolution authorizing a professional services contract to T&M Associates for licensed site remediation professional services, SLRP.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-94, resolution entering into a memorandum of agreement with the Asbury Park Housing Authority for the provisions of fiber optic network repair services.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-95, a resolution awarding a contract to Millennium Communications Group for fiber optic repairs needed.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-96, a resolution authorizing the City of Asbury Park to implement the competitive contracting process to procure vendors to operate an electric scooter share program within the city.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-97, a resolution authorizing the City of Asbury Park to implement the competitive contracting process to procure vendors to operate various concessions within the city.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-98, a resolution authorizing the funding of two coastal Habitat for Humanity for the administering of the home repair and renovation program with Community Development Block Grant CDBG funding.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-75, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into an estoppel and recognition agreement with NEG Financing One LLC as a lender for Somerset Asbury Park Urban Renewal LLC in connection with the development of property located at Block 4105, Lot 1.01.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
No.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-99, a resolution amending Resolution 2023-281, approving 2023-2024 alcoholic beverage control license for AP30 Property Holdings LLC, doing business as Convention Hall Concession Beach Bar in the city of Asbury Park, the county of Monmouth, New Jersey, in certain limited respects.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-100, resolution celebrating the month of February as National Black History Month.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-101, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of playground equipment for the 2nd Avenue Beach front area.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-102, resolution appointing the firm of Archer and Griner PC to serve as special counsel for the city to finish out certain pending bond and/or redevelopment matters.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Just, I have a question.
Okay.
May I ask?
Yeah.
Okay. So this here group is just to complete current business and then no longer?
Correct.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now on to ordinances for
Wait a
intro.
second. We're missing a resolution as far as appointments to.
Yeah, we were gonna do 2 appointments to rent control.
I have an appointment on consent for APTV. I have nothing for rent control.
Do you have names?
Yeah, I do. Let me check. I could have swore, but I will say their names. And the reason we're doing it is because we're low on rent control. Hold on. Okay, I make a motion to appoint Jill.
I just want to get term dates. Hang on, term dates.
That can be asked to be determined. If you can't find it now. I said, if you can't find it now, we can just appoint them and then you.
There are set terms within the ordinance, so if you need to remember an ordinance.
You need to spell.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
And I remember there are specific designations for some of the members, landlords, tenants.
It was Jill and it was.
She has that.
Kathy Bingham, and you know what, Lisa, it's in my drafts. It's in my drafts to you. I didn't
Okay,
send it to you.
no big. So,
Okay.
what are the names?
Jill OCC, I'm gonna spell
She
it.
has.
Let me do the one that I can spell. Kathy Bingham, Bingham.
And Kathy's a property owner, right?
Yes.
Kathy's a property owner. And then Jill, and then I'm gonna send you this email, Lisa, which of course I thought I
I
should
can't
do.
spell it.
No, I can't spell her last name.
We have it.
And she's
Amy.
she's a.
She's got the sheets right in front of her with the spelling.
So Jill is gonna be alternate, yeah.
She'll have to be an alternate.
So when you're both
Cat.
one and
Right. Yep.
And then I'm gonna spell Jill's last name.
I got it.
You'd OCC,
Yep.
okay. And then, so I'm sending you the email that I thought I sent you.
Okay. So we have an additional resolution, Resolution 2024-103. It's going to be a resolution appointing members to the Rent Leveling Board. The appointees are Kathy Bingham as a property owner with a term to expire. I'm going to have to come back on the term to expire. Over here. I know, I'm sorry.
TBD.
They both know.
TBD. And Jill Occhipinti as alternate member number 2. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes, as the deputy mayor said, the reason this is being rushed is because there was complaints that there couldn't be a quorum to meet, so that's why it's being put on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now on to ordinances for introduction. I have ordinance 2024-1, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park, amending and supplementing various sections of Chapter 2 entitled Administration and subsection 30-22.1 establishment of Section 30-22 Zoning Board of Adjustment of Chapter 30 Land Development Regulations of the Code of the City of Asbury Park with a public hearing date of February 14th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-2, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending and supplementing Chapter 4-1.4 entitled Fees of Chapter 4-1 Business Licenses of Chapter 4 General Licensing of the Code of the City of Asbury Park with a public hearing date of February 14th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
If no one has anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.